I'm Mike, this is Will, we are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And we're bringing you issue 70 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest today. As always, before we go into the issue, if you want to skip straight to the battle report, there'll be a time code in the description. And this issue we got 2 pots of paint, a pot of Cadian flesh tone, and a pot of white scar. Heading into the issue now. First up, we have some background on Terra, or Holy Terra, the Earth itself, and sort of some of the places of interest on the planet, and sort of what it's like to actually live there for ordinary humans. And of course, here the layout of the Emperor's Palace in the Himalayas. Here is some background on the hierarchy of the Imperium, the sort of the various organisations you wouldn't see on the tabletop game of Warhammer 40,000, like the Navigator Houses, the Adeptus Astra Telepathia and that sort of thing, and other things like Planetary Governors and Rogue Traders. You would see things like the Assassins. And here we have background info on Space Marine Assault Squad, so the jump pack melee infantry for the Space Marines. And some examples from different chapters. On the previous page we had the Raven Guard, we got Dark Angels, and a little bit here about Blood Angels Assault Marines. They tend to use Assault Marines quite a lot. And then some background on Centurion Assault Squads, the sort of super heavy infantry they're used to break through fortification and sort of thing with their big drills. They've got to wear these sort of Centurion suits, the sort of power armour you wear while you're also in power armour. And here we've got some more background information on the Space Wolves, what they've been getting up to. This is now in the present time period after the fall of Cadia and the sort of ongoing feuds with the Thousand Sons. And here we have the painting guide of what to do with our new paints. So for the white scar, it's relatively simple. It's basically just edge highlighting all of the celestial grey bits you've been painting. So we've got the Apothecary's armour, also the Ancient's helmet, that sort of thing, the grey bits on the Terminator Captain and the Poxwalker, and also going over any parchment for purity seals and any bone on the Death Guard models. Just thin highlights. And also here for Cadian flesh tone as well, basically painting all the fleshy bits. So it goes over all the mutations and things. On the Death Guard there'll be quite a lot to do really, because basically all the Death Guard models have flesh on them. Building up a sort of smooth highlight by using multiple thin layers and gradually building up the colour to the highest points on the sort of tentacles and growths they have. And also a bit here about just doing regular human skin on the cultists and going over the faces as well. Here it's got the Space Marine Primaris Captain. Personally, I'd probably stop around step 3, because you can go and do things like the eyeballs and the teeth, but they're such tiny details that they're quite difficult to paint, and most of the time you probably couldn't actually see them. So with that over, we'll get into our mission for this issue, and we've got something new to learn about army building, so we'll see that now.
As you might have guessed from the title of this week's video, we're going to learn about Battle-Forged Armies and Detachments. So Battle-Forged Armies basically is just a way of building your army. It gives you some restrictions, but gives you some benefits for doing it. And as it says in the first paragraph, you have to organise units into detachments, and the units must all share a faction. So we've got restrictions. Detachments have restrictions of what's in them. Command points. If your army is Battle-Forged, you get 3 command points. Up until now we've had 3 command points by default, but from now on, as it says, we'll actually have to have a Battle-Forged army in order to gain those command points. But certain detachments also give you command benefits, and we assume we're going to learn about those in future issues. And then a note on factions down here. Factions is a keyword that is on the data sheets that the models have. As it says with the magazine, we've only ever got Ultramarines or Death Guard models, so that is basically a faction, and it's very easy to do, but then over the page we actually learn what detachments are. So there's all these symbols here which are battlefield role, and we did show this a couple of issues ago when they required a troops unit to be in the army, but these are all the various options and they're just on the data sheets. But a detachment itself looks like this, and you can see there's all the symbols there, and the symbols that are actually on the organisation chart are the units that you, the red ones you have to take, and then all the grey ones are optional. There's restrictions, as it said, all the units are supposed to be from the same faction, and command benefits, none. So this is a patrol detachment, which is the one we'll be using in this issue, but as I said, we'll hopefully get some more in future issues to have a go at. And just going back very quickly to issue 67 and have a look at our scout data sheet again. So down here we've got the keywords, and the faction keywords are the ones we're interested in. So as you can see, we've got Imperial, Adeptus, Astartes and Ultramarines. Well, actually all of the Space Marine units with this will actually share all those 3 keywords. So it'll be Silver Templars rather than Ultramarines in our case, but it works the same way. And then again, battlefield role is shown in the top left corner, so the scouts are a troops unit. So now having gone over all that, we can move on to our mission, and as you can see in the map here, there's quite a lot of different forces fighting in this region. I'm not entirely sure exactly where it is on the planet, but the backstory is that the Death Guard Task Force Excurus has been sent down to this part of the planet, and they have captured an Imperial position and they're using it to disrupt supply lines. So the Silver Templars are launching an offensive to try and stop them. And the armies for this mission we have here, and they are both arranged into patrol detachments. So we've got the army rosters here, and you can see at the top of this one there is some notes about the detachment. So this is it's a patrol detachment of Ultramarines in this case, and the command benefits there it says none, but some other ones might have command benefits. But basically we've just got the list of units and their power ratings and all the war gear they have. And then on the other side we have the Death Guard. They're also a patrol detachment. I'll go over all the units properly in the army overviews in a second, but just a couple of things to note here. It says here that the Primaris Captain has the Mastercrafted Stalker Bolt Rifle, but our model has the Auto Bolt Rifle instead, so we'll just use that, but it doesn't affect his power rating or anything, obviously. And the other thing to point out is, for some reason, they've written that the Myphitic Blight Hauler only costs 4 power. It doesn't. It costs 7, so technically this Death Guard detachment is actually 42 power, not 39, because they've made a mistake there. Overall, because both of these armies are arranged into a detachment, and if you go back to the detachment organisation and on the previous page, then you'll see that they do not exceed the maximum allowed for a patrol detachment, and because they all share a faction keyword, these armies are battle-forged, and so we will get the 3 command points. And so after all that, we'll be on to our mission, All Out War. You can see the battlefield set up here. There are 2 Death Guard deployment zones. I'll explain why there's that in a moment. And the Space Marine, well, they don't have a deployment zone, they move on from the battlefield edge. There's no predetermined terrain setup. We're going to set it up according to the usual procedure, though it does recommend that the Death Guard deployment zone should have lots of terrain features, and the rest of the battlefield should be more open to create a kind of killing ground. The armies, what it says, you use the detachments printed that I showed you earlier. Death Guard deploys first. They can deploy no more than 3 units of each of their deployment zones, including units placed inside transports. So given that there are actually 7 units in the Death Guard detachment, that will mean the Lord of Contagion will have to go in the teleportarium, because otherwise it's not going to be a legal deployment according to the rules. Then the Space Marines move on the start of their movement phase, and they obviously go first. And then the Space Marines earn 1 victory point for every unit that ends the game in the Death Guard Deployment Zone 1, and 2 victory points for those in Death Guard Deployment Zone 2. So, in other words, they have to run all the way across the board and get as far as possible, pretty much. The Death Guard, on the other hand, gain a victory point for every unit eliminated, and the game lasts for 5 battle rounds. So we'll now have a look at the armies, and then have a look at the battlefield. So here is the Space Marine army from that detachment. So we've got the captain, he is the compulsory HQ choice, and 5 intercessors who are the compulsory troops choice, which then fills out the detachment requirements. Then in addition we have a lieutenant. It specifies one with a power sword, and it doesn't say Calcius, so we use the other one with the power sword. He is an extra HQ choice, so it fills out the whole 2 HQ choices allowed. Then we've got the aggressors and the dreadnought. They are both elite choices, and 5 hellblasters are a heavy support choice.
Yeah, my warlord is the captain as specified by the army roster, and I'm going to give him the Storm of Fire trait.
And here is the Death Guard force that is specified for the mission. So we've got a Lord of Contagion with a Man Reaper, Lord Felthius, although it doesn't actually name him as such, but he is the one with the Man Reaper, so he's the compulsory HQ choice. And then there are actually 3 troops units in this. So we've got a unit of 5 Plague Marines with Champion of Powerfist Plasma Gun, 2 Blight Launchers, and the Icon of Despair, again all specified in the army list. 10 Cultists and 20 Poxwalkers. So there is, obviously one of those is the compulsory troops unit. And then additionally we have the Myphitic Blight Hauler, which is a fast attack choice, Fetid Bloat Drone, which is also a fast attack choice, and the Chaos Rhino, which is a dedicated transport. And they usually work slightly differently in detachments in that you can normally have 1 for every other unit choice. And then the Warlord will obviously be the Lord of Contagion. For his Warlord trait, we're going to go for Rotten Constitution, just for a bit of a change, which is the one that makes him take half damage from all attacks. And here we have the battlefield set up. So on the Space Marine end, as the mission suggests, we've left it fairly open to form a kind of killing ground, so there's only a few large terrain pieces over here, the kind of things you wouldn't be able to move if you were trying to set up a defensive position. In the central board, the Death Guard deployment zones are each 17 inches, which takes the edge of the first one up to basically the middle of this board. And then we've got some industrial stuff over there, the barricade in the middle, which is manned by some cultists. Then a box and some things here, and there's a little bit of area cover just a bit forward. And finally, moving back to the city board, there's another barricade in the centre, and then more terrain and lots of supplies, ammo boxes and things back here, as it suggests being set up with a fortified kind of look. And then the Death Guard deployment, as I said, we've got the cultists on the front line manning the first barricade, then there's a wall of poxwalkers behind them, and the Plague Marines. Those 3 units are all in the first deployment zone, the forward one. And then in the one further back, we've got the Blight Hauler, the Chaos Rhino, and the Bloat Drone. And the Lord of Contagion is in the teleportarium, because he can't go anywhere else, according to the letter of the scenario. And we've also got our command point counters here, as discussed. Because these armies are Battleforged, we do get the 3 command points. But the Space Marines get the first turn, and they move on, so we'll be on to Space Marines, turn 1.
So in my turn, the Dreadnought's just going to move on normally, so its Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon is in range of the cultists. Everyone else is just going to advance, so I'll roll them all now. So we got the Intercessors, an extra 1, the Hellblasters, an extra 1, the Aggressors, an extra 6, the Lieutenant, an extra 4, and the Captain, an extra 3. So there we moved on, the Aggressors have gone out ahead, the Hellblasters and the Intercessors are behind them. Spread out a bit down the line just in case the Lord of Contagion decides to drop in. And the 2 characters are just here so that they're both in range of the Dreadnought. That'll be it for my movement, so we're on to the shooting phase. So the only thing to shoot is the Dreadnought. He's going to fire his Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon into the cultists. So we've got 12 shots, hitting on 4s because we moved, but we're rolling 1s because of the Captain. He's rolling those 1s. 6 hits in total, and we're wounding on 3s because strength 5, but we're rolling 1s because of the Lieutenant. Rolling those 1s, it's 5 wounds.
Well, that would just be 5 dead cultists, because they don't get an armor save from this. So yeah, as you can see, they're not actually all in cover here. There's some that are in the open. So we'll lose the melee people first, and then just these 2 autoguns over here. And well, that'll be it for Space Marine's turn, but the morale phase, the cultists do have to take a morale test. So adding 5, that makes a total of 6, which is actually the champion's leadership, so none of them are away. But with that, we'll be on to Death Guard, turn 1. In my movement phase, the most important thing is the Blight Hauler has come over here, because you can now see the Dreadnought. Plague Marines are just shuffled a bit, the Poxwalkers have moved back slightly and bunched up, try and keep them out of range. Rhino is going to stay still because its heavy weapon is a really long range, and the Bloat Drone is not going to move because it's not anywhere near in range, so it might as well wait there for now. And finally, the remaining cultist has run over there to get into cover. And I won't bring in Lord Felthius at this point, so we'll be on to the shooting phase. We've only got 2 things in range, which is a missile launcher from the Blight Hauler and the Rhino's Havoc launcher. We'll do the Blight Hauler first. It'll fire a crack missile at the Dreadnought. Hitting on 4s, but re-rolling 1s because it's next to an ammo box. That is a hit. Wounds on a 3. Yes.
It's AP -2, so we got a 5+ armor save. Oh, I made it.
And the Rhino's Havoc launcher has a 48-inch range, so we're going to start trying to put shots on the Hellblasters. So D6 shots. 3. Hitting on 3s because it didn't move, and it's next to ammo box, so re-rolling 1s. Hits go far. 2. Wounding on 3s. 2.
3+ armor saves.
Oh dear.
I'll re-roll one of those because I quite like the Hellblasters to survive. Re-rolled into a success, so Hellblaster takes a wound, and that guy.
But that is the end of my turn, so we will be on to Space Marines turn 2.
So in my movement phase, the Dreadnought's just going to move up behind this pipe, so it's obscured by the Akamite stack, and it is within range of the cultists. Everyone else is just going to advance because we can't get into range of anything else except the cultists. I'll start from the bottom, so the Intercessors, an extra 3. Hellblasters, an extra 5. The Aggressors, an extra 2. The Captain, an extra 2. And the Lieutenant, an extra 2. So yeah, everyone's basically moved up pretty much as far as they can go, except the Hellblasters, because there's the barrels in the way. And the 2 characters have come a little bit more closer to the Dreadnought, so that it's in range of both their auras. So in the shooting phase, I'll start with the Captain, because he has the auto bolt rifle instead of the stalker bolt rifle as specified. He'll shoot at the cultists, because they're the only things in range. Got 2 shots hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. It's 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Rolling that 1. It's 2 wounds.
Okay, but it doesn't have any AP, and they didn't get Storm of Fire, and they are in cover, so this is actually a 5+ save. These. Which I failed both anyway, so 2 cultists die. Take these 2 instead.
Next I'll do the Dreadnought. It's going to put his Fragstorm grenade launchers into the cultists, and then the Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon into the Poxwalkers. So the Fragstorm grenade launchers are 2d6 shots. That's 9. Hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. not knock that over, but that would be 8 hits. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. That's 7 wounds.
Again, they get a 5+ armor save, which they've made all 4 of, but they still go down because there's only 3 left. And so that is the cultist wiped out. There's no first blood or victory points for the Space Marines killing things, but that is a unit down.
I might regret that decision because I could have charged those cultists to get extra movement, but we'll see how it goes. And then the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon into the poxwalkers. 12 shots hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. It's pretty good so far. That's 8 hits. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. Oh, 6 wounds.
Still not bad, and then they get disgustingly resilient. Only 2, so 4 poxwalkers die. We'll just take 4 off the front from this end, I think.
And that'll be it for my turn because we're far too far away to charge anything.
So we'll be on to Death Guard, turn 2. Right, in my movement phase, the poxwalkers are shuffled back a little bit further to form a kind of physical wall in the road, and the Plague Marines are going to advance because they might be able to get blight launchers in range. They go 9 inches if they want. So the Plague Marines have moved up to there, and they do still have someone within range of the ammo boxes, and the Blight Hauler has moved up a little bit, staying within range of the ammo boxes itself, but it will give them cover thanks to its aura. And the Rhino and the Black Drone will again stay where they are, the former because it's in range, and the latter because it isn't in range. And I won't bring Felthius down again, so we'll be on to the shooting phase. We'll start with the Blight Launchers on the Plague Marines, because they're in range of the aggressors over here. We've got 4 shots hitting on 3s, because we ignore the penalty for advancing and shooting, being Death Guard, and ammo boxes, 3 rolling 1s. That's a 1. So that's 4 hits. Wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. 3 wounds.
3 5+ armor saves.
Ah,
whoa!
That does nothing.
Yeah, that's usually one of your rolls.
We'll do the Blight Hauler for again firing its crack missile at the Dreadnought, which will get cover, but I wasn't able to move such that it didn't, and I wasn't able to get the multi-motion range either. So crack missile hitting on 4 re-rolling 1s. That hit. Wounds on 3. No. And finally we've got the Rhino's Havoc Launcher, which will shoot at the Hellblasters again. D6 shots, 3. Hitting on 3s, 3 rolling 1s. They all hit. Wounding on 3s. They were wounded.
3+ armor saves. Ooh. Spend another command point to re-roll that 2 into a 4.
Okay, keeps the Hellblaster alive.
Yeah.
Which might be important because we will now go on to Space Marines turn 3.
So movement phase, the Dreadnought's just going to move over the pipe, and so it's still obscured by the Alchemite stack and the building.
Yeah, for some reason we were under the impression that it had a 10-inch move. It doesn't. It has 8.
Yeah. So we moved it a shorter distance now, so it's...
Yeah, it's the distance it would have been, and it would have still been in range of the things it shot at, so...
But the aggressors are going to advance because they'll be in the way of everyone else. It's an extra 3. So there, the aggressors have finished their move. Everyone else is just going to move up normally. There's no real point in advancing the characters because they're just going to stay behind the Hellblasters anyway. So be on to the shooting phase. So I'll start with the Hellblasters. They're going to shoot at the Blight Hauler. And we are going to overcharge, so do the Sergeant first. Launch it on 3 rolling 1s, we missed. The Wounded Man hits, and the 3 regular men get 3 hits, so it's 4 hits. Wounding on 3s, you're on 1s. It's 3 wounds.
3 5+ invulnerable saves. Made none of them, so that would be 6 damage potentially. Disgustingly resilient. Made 2, so it takes 4 damage. So it's down to 4 wounds remaining.
I'll do the Captain next, because he only has 1 target in range, that's the Plague Marines, so he'll shoot at them. 2 shots hitting on 2s, you're rolling 1s. 2 hits. Wounding on 5s, you're rolling 1s. 1 wound.
They're in cover, so this will be a 2+. Yep.
So I'll do the Dreadnought next. The only gun in range is the Onslaught Gatling Cannon, and it's going to shoot at the Blight Hauler. 12 shots hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. 6 hits in total. Wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s. So that's 2 wounds, 1 AP minus 2 and 1 AP minus 1.
So it'd be a 4+ and a 5+, because it doesn't give itself cover. Yeah. So 4+, yes, 5+, yes.
Finally I'll do the Intercessors. They'll shoot at the Plague Marines. So 5 shots hitting on 3s, you're on 1s. Well, that's 5 hits. Wounding on 5s, you're on 1s. Nothing at all.
Yeah, but that'll be it again for Space Marines turn 3, on to Death Guard turn 3. Right, well, pretending that I have some kind of master plan, and not that I just have no idea what I'm doing, I'm going to advance the Bloat Drone, because if it rolls 6 for its advance, it'll be in range of the aggressors, and if not, I don't really have anything to lose from it. So, let's see that 6. That is a 3. Yeah, that's not enough, but it's going to jump over here behind the Hematuric Reactor, getting itself in position for next turn, and also a bit of cover. Next, we're going to advance with the Poxwalkers. So 5, so that'd be 9 inches total. So they move like that. They haven't gone their full distance, but the reason is that I want to get them closer than the Plague Marines, so I can use Cloud of Flies. And they're also all within 7 inches of the Blight Hauler to benefit from its aura of colour, which might be relevant if the Flamers start getting deployed next turn. Plague Marines, well, I've just moved the Champion over so that he's not closer to the Intercessors. And the Rhino will stay where it is again, because it doesn't need to move. And then, as I said before, we're going to spend a command point for Cloud of Flies on the Plague Marines so they cannot be shot. And then we've brought Lord Felthius down at the end of the movement phase. Right out the front, yes, but there's no points for Slay the Warlord, and I don't lose any points for my units being killed either. He just needs to keep people out of my deployment zone. Actually, slight adjustment. The Blight Hauler is not in range with its multi-melter of the Dreadnought, and although it doesn't get the ammo boxes if it moves here, better to have 2 shots than 1 rerolling ones, so we're just going to adjust like that. Then we start shooting with it at the Dreadnought. We'll start with the multi-melter, so 1 shot hitting on the 4. That is 6. Wounding on the 3. Nope. That is worth a command point, I think. So down to 1. Reroll. Yep, that's a wound. -4, but it does have cover from the Heme Trip.
6 plus.
So
Nope.
Nope. D6 damage. 4. So the Dreadnought's down to 9. And then we'll do a crack missile hitting on the 4. We'll do the Plague Marines next. They're going to put all their shots into the aggressors. So we've got 2 Blight Launchers, Plasma Gun and 1 Bolt Gun are in rapid fire range. So we'll start with the Plasma Gun. It will supercharge because I've got an ammo box, so 3's rerolling 1s. That's a 1. Yeah, okay, it turned into a hit. Wounding on 3's. Oh, what's a 2?
6 plus arm save. Hey.
Oh, it made it. Then we've got 4 shots from Blight Launchers on 3's. They all hit. Wounding on 3's, rerolling 1s. 3 wounds.
3, 5 plus arm saves. Well, made 1, failed 2.
So D3 damage, 1 at a time. We've got 2 and 3.
2 regular aggressors will die.
And then we do have 3 shots from bolt guns, 1 rapid fire, 1 not. They're 2 hits. Wounding on 5s, 1 wound.
3 plus armor save. Hit.
So all that's left is the Rhino. It'll try and shoot that Hellblaster again. So D6 shots, 2. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, rerolling 1s. Nope, 1 hit. Wounds on 3 rather. And it did.
3 plus armor save. Made it.
And then in the charge phase, Lord Felthius might as well try and charge into that aggressor sergeant because he'll hold the Space Marines up quite a bit if I manage to get him into the lines, and it's not in range to Overwatch. Not really anything to lose by trying. Probably going to need a big number though. Not an 8, but I might consider re-rolling. I think it could be worth a command point, so I can spend my last one. I need a 4, I need a 9-inch charge. Nope, 3 again, so he doesn't make his charge. The sergeant doesn't have to take a morale test, so we'll be on to Space Marines turn 4.
So that's my movement. Everyone's just moved up normally. Dreadnoughts come round. Aggressors moved up normally. Not quite in flame range of the Poxwalkers, unfortunately. Hellblasters, Intercessors, and the 2 characters following behind. So on to the shooting phase. So I'll start with the Hellblasters. They're going to shoot at the Blight Hauler again. So the 4 in front are in rapid fire range, the guy at the back isn't, and we're going to overcharge. So I'll do the guy at the back. He hits. Sarge gets 1 hit. Wounded Man gets 2 hits. Hellblaster number 4 gets 2 hits. And Hellblaster number 5 has to re-roll that 1 into a hit. 7 hits in total. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. Rerolling those 1s. So that's 4 wounds.
5 plus invulnerable save. Made 3, of course. 2 damage. Well, so 1 damage goes through, so it's down to 3.
Do the Intercessors next. They're going to shoot at the Poxwalkers. So we've got 10 shots, hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. 4, 6 hits. Wounding on 3s, rolling 1s. 5 wounds.
Cover won't help them, so Disgusting Resilient made 2, so 3 Poxwalkers go down. Take 3 from this far end over here.
Next I'll do the Dreadnought. He'll put all of his guns into Felthius, the ones that are in range anyway. So I'll do the Gatling Cannon first. 12 shots hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. For 8 hits, wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s. 2 wounds.
At AP -1, so 3 plus armor saves. Who's made them?
And the Fragstorm Launchers get 6 shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. 5 hits, wounding on 5s, nothing. The Aggressor Sergeant will fire his Flamestorm Gauntlets at the Felthius because it's the only target in range. 2 to 6 shots, 6 as well. Wounding on 5s. Not in range of either of the characters, so it's 2 wounds.
2+ saves. Make them.
The lieutenant will fire his bolt pistol at Felthius. One shot hitting on 3. Rolling 1s. Yep. Wounds on a 5.
Ooh.
With Storm Fire.
Storm Fire. It's a normal bolt pistol though, so 3+. Yes.
Finally, the captain will shoot at. No, he'll shoot at the Blight Hauler, just in case. 2 shots hitting on 2s, you're rolling 1s. I'll re-roll those. Wow, 1 hit. Wounds on 5. Oh, we did with Storm Fire.
So 4+. Yes.
Aggressor Sergeant will declare a charge on Felthius. Gets in with a 10, definitely.
They'll go round like that.
And the Dreadnought will charge Felthius.
Yep.
Like more than a 5. Right, we rolled a 5, so it's not going to get in. The Hellblasters will charge Felthius. 7. So you finish like that. And then the Intercessors will charge Felthius as well. So the Intercessors will charge Felthius as well. Well, they got a 10.
So they make it to there.
On to the fight phase. Start with the Hellblasters, he'll pile in.
Yeah, we'll just move the tank trap out of the way just because it doesn't impede them.
So we've got 11 attacks hitting on 3s. 7 hits. Wounding on 5s. Nothing at all. Do the Intercessors now as well. 11 attacks as well, hitting on 3s. 8 hits. Wounding on 5s. 1.
2+ armour. Made it.
And the Aggressor Sergeant is 3 attacks hitting on 4s. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds.
These are the 4+ invulnerable save. So I made both.
So I just forgot to record the Hellblasters piling in to trap Felthius.
Felthius will strike back against the Hellblasters because they're now kind of trapping him in. So 4 attacks hitting on 2s. With 2 deaths to the False Emperor. Which gets an extra hit. So it's an extra 2 hits, so 6 hits. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. 6 wounds.
6+ armor saves. Made 1.
Okay, so the first one will kill the wounded Hellblaster. And we've got 4 more, so we've got a 1, so then this next attack will kill another one. It's 2 dead so far. Then another one, and so yeah, we'll kill 3 in total because I don't have any command points to reroll that. So yeah, the wounded man dies.
Kill that one. And the Sergeant. So slight adjustment, I'm not going to kill the Sergeant because we've got the Icon of Despair.
Yep, so they're down a leadership, which means that on a 6, another one will run away.
Nope.
So we will be on to Death Guard turn 4. So the first thing that happens is Lord Felthius' aura goes off, and all 3 of those Space Marine units might take mortal wounds on 4+. So the Hellblasters do not, the Intercessors do take a mortal wound, and the Aggressor Sergeant does not. So the Intercessor takes a wound. In my movement phase, Lord Felthius has fallen back out of combat because even though he's good in melee, I think I can actually do more damage potentially with shooting than he can in his fight phase, so he will go there. Then we've brought the Poxwalkers a bit closer, and the Blight Hauler has gone over there, so it's within 12 inches of the Dreadnought. And the Bloat Drone has flown over there. It didn't advance, so it could charge if I wanted to. Plague Armies will stay where they are because they've got the ammo box in range at the moment, and the Rhino will also stay where it is. So we'll be on to the shooting phase. We'll start with the Bloat Drone. It will shoot at the Hellblasters. So it gets 2d6 hits, 10. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. Reroll that 1. That is 7 wounds, AP -1.
7 4+ saves. Yeah, they did.
That is a victory point for to the Death Guard for killing a unit. Next, we're going to shoot with the Plague Marines, so they will shoot the Intercessors. The Bolt Gun Man in the middle is going to throw a Blight Grenade, and then we've got all the other guns. We'll start with the Blight Grenade, d6 shots, 5. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. We all hit. Wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s. That's 3 wounds.
3+. Made on 5 so wounded Intercessor dies.
Yep, that's all I wanted it to do. Next we'll have a Supercharged Plasma Gun, 2 shots on 3s, rerolling 1s. They both hit, wounding on 2s. Only 1.
6+. Yep. Another dead Intercessor.
Blight Launchers on 3s, 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 3 wounds.
5+. Nope.
D3 damage each, we've got 2, and 3, and 3. Wow, okay. Yeah, so that takes them out, and up to 2 victory points for the Death Guard. Blight Hauler next, we'll put the anti-tank weapons into the Dreadnought, and the Bile Spurt will go into the Aggressor Sergeant. Multi-melter at the Dreadnought, hitting on a 4, not rerolling, because no ammo box. Crack Missile on a 4, also missed. Then D3 shots from the Bile Spurt, 1. Hits on a 4, no, nothing. And then the Rhino will shoot at both its guns at the Aggressor Sergeant. Bolter, 2 shots on 3s, rerolling 1s. 2 hits, wounding on 5s. 1 wound.
Yeah, he's got cover from the servo hauler, so 2+.
Yeah, it made a difference. Yeah, so the servo hauler is slightly closer to the Rhino, so he does get cover for that, being in 3 inches of it. Havoc launcher, D6 shots, 5. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling ones. They all hit. Wounding on 4s, 4.
2+ saves again. And he dies.
So that is up to 3 victory points for the Death Guard. So that's it for shooting. I'm going to charge the bloat drone into the Dreadnought, just to try and tie it up.
So Overwatch Heavy Flamer gets 4 hits. Wounding on 5s, rolling 1s.
So there's 2, 1 with Storm of Fire. 4+ on a 5+. 4+ failed, 5+ passed, so it takes a wound so far. Disgusting Resilient. Oh, made it.
And the grenade launchers gets 9 shots. Hitting on 6s, you're rolling 1s. That's 2 hits then. Wounding on 5s. Oh, 2 wounds.
3+ save. Oh, takes a wound potentially. Disgusting Resilient. Nope, does take a wound. Down to 9.
Lightning Cannon, 12 shots, hitting on 6s, you're rolling 1s. It's 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. You're rolling 1s.
Again, 1 with Storm of Fire, 1 without, so 4+ on a 5+, made the 4+, and not the 5+. Disgustingly Resilient. Oh, I made that. And then its charge range will be 6. I don't think that's enough. So it's down to 9 wounds, and that is not enough for its charge, so it doesn't get anywhere. That'll be it for Death Guard turn 4. On to Space Marines turn 5.
I'm just going to concede at this point. I could potentially get a draw if all my models get into the deployment zone and don't get killed, but that's very unlikely to happen in round with all the melee and shooting all the models Death Guard still have.
So yeah, that will be a Death Guard victory in this game, so we will recap that for you now. So that was the mission from issue 70 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. Where would you like to start?
I think we'll start with the mistake they made in the army lists. Yeah, the Blight Hauler is 7 power, not 4. Assuming that they're meant to be 2 40 power army lists, you could probably just get rid of the Cultists or the Rhino, then that would bring you back under 40 power. Probably really the Rhino makes the most sense.
Yeah, because I'm on the defensive, so...
I would say this mission's quite like the one, it was issue 60, I think, where I had to run across 2 whole battle mats and just about managed it in 5 turns by pulling off a long charge at the end. And I've got to be honest, it just wasn't that fun to play this mission, because they expect me to run... It's 51 inches to your second deployment zone, and I have to get that far without any flyers, without any transports, when my fastest unit has an 8-inch move, and if I advance I can't shoot with any of my stuff, and if I don't shoot any of your stuff, you'll just shoot me to bits. It took me 4 turns and I didn't even make it to your... I only just made it into your deployment zone.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have no idea how I'm meant to make it to your second one.
In this mission, we had set armies given to us by the magazine, and your one was entirely unsuitable for running across the board because it's too slow.
And also, you have 3 vehicles, all with at least 8 wounds, and I have no anti-tank weapons. I don't have the land speeder, or even the attack bike, or some more mobile units.
I suppose you had like the Terminator Captain or the Inceptors, they could technically drop into my deployment zone. They probably wouldn't last that long.
No, but I mean, they might disrupt some of your stuff or draw attention away. Yeah. I mean, you'd be probably do just fine if you just sat all of your stuff. You could deploy all your stuff in your first deployment zone as far back as it can, and then all the stuff in your second deployment zone as far forward as it can, so all your armies together. I mean, you could come out to get me, but why would you do that? Because that might give me a charge.
Yeah. And as you said, it's not fun to play a mission where you're fighting against it from the beginning, and it's not really that much fun to be the opponent either, because you just sort of think, well, I can basically win this by just gaming the scenario. Yeah. I put the cultists at the front, for example, because I thought, well, actually there should be someone manning the barricade, even if it's and being the Death Guard, they would put useless chaff on the front line and leave the better units at the back. And I think it was probably a mistake to bring Felthius down right at the front, because it actually gave you a unit, someone to charge. If I hadn't done that, you would have had much longer charges. You might not have made them, and you wouldn't have had units in the deployment zone at all. And then that would have been that. So the victory conditions for the Death Guard are such that, I mean, when you suddenly got 3 units into my deployment zone in turn 4, and I hadn't killed any of your units, I was suddenly 3 victory points down effectively, because you had 3 units there. So every unit of yours I kill not only gives me a victory point, but also denies you potential victory points. And working on the basis that you basically can't physically get units into the second deployment zone for the double thing, that suddenly meant that I had 2 turns to actually wipe out those 3 units. Now I did it because I rolled well, and I would have had an extra turn at the end if I'd needed it anyway, but if you can get units into my deployment zones, I'm suddenly faced with, oh, I have to actually kill these things.
And I mean, I guess things can happen like the Black Hole will whiff against the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
You can't kill it.
Exactly, and if the Dreadnought had made its charge, it would have been in there, and I might have struggled harder to kill that. But then, as it was, you were faced in your final turn with playing for a draw, and all I had to do was kill your lieutenant.
Who you could have quite easily killed him with Felthius, probably.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, all of that is kind of symptomatic of the fact that the mission is just not very good in the first place.
Well, I'd say in the actual 40k rulebook, there is a mission in the narrative section on page 202, actually, called Blitz, which is essentially in this mission. But in Blitz, the battlefield is divided up into quarters, and the defenders have the right-hand half of the battlefield. But the attackers are an 18 inch. It's 18 inches in the book. It would be 17 inches with a magazine deployment zone. So I'd start a quarter of the way on the support, and that would make an entirely different game.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had to run a whole 17 inches.
Yeah. And also in Blitz, the attackers' units come back when they're killed, and they also get a preliminary bombardment, which is a narrative thing.
It also potentially goes on more than 5 turns as well.
It has a random battle length.
So it might. So this was a hard 5 turns, at which point the Space Marines are just getting to the first line, whereas in the one it's based on, it can go on to 7 turns. I think you can say it's a bad scenario when no matter what you roll, you might not have won. So for example, if I'd actually stayed right at the back of my deployment zones, I wouldn't have had much firepower, but you would have got to my lines in turn 5, and then I probably would have just blown away whatever was in range. Yeah. And that would have been that. And it's like, you can have all the luck in the world, but you just can't win this scenario if the opponent plays.
It just means the first couple of turns just nothing happens. There wasn't much return fire from you either. I don't think you did. You think you wounded a Hellblaster?
I did. Yes, this magazine is designed for newcomers to the hobby, but I would have thought, especially if you've been playing for 70 issues already, you will probably have figured out that sometimes it's just not fun if you can't win from the start. And
at least it doesn't feel like a fair fight. And we have had missions where it's literally come down to the final dice roll.
Yes.
Like making an armor savers won the game.
Yeah.
And there's missions like this where you just look at the scenario and go,
yeah, this is going to be fun. And then, once again, we'll keep going on about it, but using old Space Marine rules, these units are too expensive. The Dreadnought in the new codex is only 7 power.
Yeah, the main aggressors have gone down, Lieutenant and the Captain have gone down as well. So I think you've worked out I'd probably have about 6 or 7 more power using the new rules.
Which is another unit like the Land Speeder, and we also get a selection of other rules that make them better as well.
I guess we could mention detachments. We'll probably talk about them more in the next issue, where I think we'll probably be able to make our own detachments. I guess it does give you a bit less flexibility, or a bit less freedom, as we said, to choose what units you want. But you do get benefits. I mean, you actually have to follow detachments now to use command points, which is the main benefit. And it's much better to do that.
Detachments really just go hand in hand with command points, to be honest. It's like, if you want to use these, then expect to have to... But they're not that constraining at all, really. As long as you have certain units to fill out compulsory slots, you can... A lot of other things, you can just put them in wherever you want. So it isn't really... There's not much of a constraint. But I mean, detachments are kind of the standard way of playing Warhammer 40,000. I mean, technically they're under the match play section, and they're required for match play, which is like it includes tournament play, but it's also just how to make a game that you know is going to be a relatively fair fight and follow match play rules. But it's quite common to include them in other kinds of gaming as well, just because it's a simple way that lets you fully utilise the rules of your army, really, with command points and various stratagems. But that'll be all for this episode. So if you enjoyed this video, then do give it a like and subscribe. If you played this, then we'd love to hear what you thought of this scenario. Even if you haven't played this, we'd love to hear what you thought.
If you want us, the Space Marines, tell us what you did.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert at playing the Space Marines, I will admit. So if you have any strategy tips, what you do differently, I'd love to hear them.
But other than that, we've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.